feel like you should be wearing a coconut bra right now.
I feel like if playing the piano could always like be like that, I could have made it because the ting ting ting, like it doesn't really. Yeah. I could hit those 3 keys over and over again. Yeah.
This is setting the mood.
I need a drink with an umbrella, like you said, some sunblock, and
a 2-piece swimsuit.
Let's not go that far.
Oh, with this music, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
it doesn't. It does not matter.
That is true.
And I would like to wear a nice visor, but you could have a big, nice like hat,
wide brimmed,
very wide,
yes,
with a pig and string because it might be windy on
whatever
the beach.
that is. Yep,
Yeah.
Deal. I'm in. Yeah, we got to fit in with our guest.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you been doing lately?
What have I been doing? It's summer.
Yes.
So I try to spend time with my kids.
Oh, that's good of you. Nice job.
Right? You
Yeah,
know,
that's why you have them. Yeah.
We got a pool.
Oh, wonderful.
Clay said it was a kiddie pool, and then we went to a big pool, and now Tripp's like, he doesn't like it, so he wants a big pool.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I don't know, like if I just start showing up at my friends' houses that have pools,
you can
because
do
I
that.
don't want a pool.
Yeah, I won't tell you when ours comes in. It's supposed to come today.
Well, I know
When
where you
it's-
live now, so
that's
I'll just
true.
show up.
Yeah, okay.
What about you? What have you been doing?
Planted flowers.
Beautiful.
Can't plant a garden because Jake won't allow that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, I guess, good caretaker of the veggies. And doing a little softball, doing a little summer, swimming, flowers. What else do you do in summer? Oh, hey.
Oh my gosh. If you make
Yes.
a TikTok right now, I'm going to be so happy.
Oh, this could be amazing.
This could be
I don't
really
even
so
have
good.
TikTok, but it could happen.
So cool.
Yes.
Because this person's famous.
Well, yeah.
When we get there.
Yeah. When we get there, when we're ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll bring him on.
Yes. But anyways,
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Coaching, Caffeine, and Comedy. I'm your host, Hayley Copsa.
and I'm Lena.
Thank you for getting me this pillow for my bum.
You're welcome. And for turning the air down.
Yeah.
You're also welcome.
You know, I was fine at 79, but whatever.
I wasn't. You know what I'm really enjoying right now this summer? So I work at a certain location, slinging donuts.
Yes.
Okay? When kids from the school come in, it's like, Mrs. Coble. They still say that, and it just makes me feel so special.
Melts your heart.
Yeah. And I'm like, for every donut.
Or maybe does this guy's kids do that?
I haven't seen them yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
I wonder where they've been.
I know.
Probably working.
Probably.
Yeah. So let's introduce our guest.
Let's do it.
So sitting across from us in studio, because he's not at the beach,
He's not currently.
is Tyler Schmick.
Tyler Schmick.
Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome, Tyler.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
There's that voice.
That voice.
Yep. Our ratings. You know how many
They're
more
gonna
people
go
just
up.
jumped on?
Oh my
yep.
gosh. Yeah, they're gonna be
It's
like,
happening.
Oh man.
It's the Matthew McConaughey voice on a podcast.
all right.
We should have
all
brought.
right.
We should have brought a children's book to read.
I almost didn't recognize him with his bleach blonde hair.
I
It's
just-
almost like white in the back.
I
It's so
opened the
blonde.
door up. I was like, "Whoa! Did you bleach your hair?"
Yeah. I was like,
And
holy moly.
he said there's actually nothing underneath the hat, though.
No, it's just pure skullet.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So just down
but
the
it's-
side.
It's just
But
whatever.
as long as you keep a hat on, it
It's
keeps
fine.
the appearance.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Can you be an auctioneer?
I
The
cannot.
voice. Yeah, you probably make a good auctioneer voice.
He's going to have a side job after this. You know it.
He is.
He's either going to do radio ads
or something.
Yes.
Somebody's calling you after
Yes.
this podcast.
I used to talk on the radio a lot to Rich Barnett.
Oh, yes, back in the day.
what?
People probably didn't appreciate when they had the grocery store. I'm
we had
guessing.
the grocery
Oh,
store way
really?
back in the day. Yeah.
Did you do your like commercials, like come down and get your $2 eggs?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But that's been a minute for sure.
minute.
So.
That happened during COVID, right? When you guys sold?
No, we sold before that.
It what?
Yeah. 'Cause
Oh,
I
no,
got,
no, it
I
was-
got out
okay.
a little earlier than everybody else got
Yeah,
out. But
okay.
It was when I was gone on maternity leave because I like came back to McCook for the first time ever. And I was like, where did the grocery store go?
Oh, I know. My kids are like, we're not calling it Gary's.
I still call it Schmick's. I'm just like, I'm confused.
It's
What's
so
happening
weird.
here? What's
But
happening?
fast forward, it's like, would you have ever thought you would be doing what you're doing?
No, it was, that transition was kind of, what it was. It was from family business to doing my own thing to like trying this adventure. So yeah, sometimes you just get thrown into things and they end up working out pretty good.
And
So
you just take the leap.
Yeah.
That's the other
Right.
thing.
Can you give us a small timeline? Let's start out of high school and just kind of be very brief because we really just want to talk about what's
Where you're
happening
at.
now.
Yeah,
But,
for
like,
sure.
I want everyone to know, like, who is
Yeah.
this person? Why do we think he's so cool? Because he's living on a beach now.
yeah, okay. So I grew up in western Nebraska in a little town called Baird. Most people don't know where Baird is, but they
I
know
know.
where Chimney Rock is.
I know where Bayard is. They
I
have
don't.
There's an indoor arena there.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, here we
Yeah.
go.
So
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
So high school and graduated from Baird, went to WNCC on a jazz band scholarship.
Oh sorry.
Gosh. Fun fact. What did you play?
I play the drums. I still play the drums.
Oh yeah, okay.
I can see that.
Yeah, so
I can see that.
the only place I drum is at church now.
Yeah, I knew that. Yep.
And
Wait, where do you go to church?
at Cornerstone Fellowship.
Well, now I want to go just to watch you play the drums.
Yeah, the old Sears. It was Sears back in the day. So out of high school, I was at WNCC, and I was kind of failing because I was drinking beer and chasing girls mostly and not studying.
Okay, kids.
So I joined the Marine Corps, went to the Marine Corps for 5 years, got out, was in Washington, D.C., was working for the, it sounds cooler if I say the FBI, but I was actually a government contractor at the FBI. And then met Brandy out there. We got married, moved to McCook, bought the grocery store in 2005. Then we ran the grocery store basically for 10, 15, I guess it was 15 years. Okay. And then got out and started. Time's up.
Yep. And we're done. Yep.
Yeah,
My
too
gosh.
long-winded on the story.
I was yelling at Lena earlier. I was like, stop hitting.
Caribbean time here.
Yep.
Party's over. Let's go.
So then we started flipping some houses and buying rentals and got into the real estate stuff. And I decided, there's more beautiful places to build houses and to work on houses. And so we found a beach spot, and that's up to current.
And your beach spot's not at the lake.
No. So we're in the Bahamas on a little island called Big Farmer's Key. And we just found a beautiful beachfront lot, and we own like 1 acre of this island. A lot of people think, do you own the whole island?
Mm-hmm. How many acres is the island?
Well, the whole I would guess it's probably, if I had to guess, maybe 200 acres. It's a pretty big island. So, but like the people that bought the neighboring key, like they spent $55 million for that. So it's like,
sorry.
So it's like,
what is you said neighboring key? What is that?
Well, they call them keys just because they're little islands, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of like the Florida Keys, but it's spelled K-C-A-Y, not K-E-Y. And so a lot of people that don't that read it, they say K, but it is pronounced key. So,
how much do they pay for that?
Well, the neighboring one, like a Colombian billionaire bought it, and and
he must just sell coffee beans.
I think so.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Don't throw judgment.
Oh no!
You don't know what kind of legitimate business owner he is.
Good point.
Yeah,
no judging.
I know he does sell legal drugs. Like he's like he owns like one of the biggest weed dealerships in Vegas, I think. So
look at that.
I guess judgment be what judgment is.
So, but I don't think there's. I don't know. But I don't know how you become a Colombian billionaire and buy a private island. But so so when people say like, "Oh, did you buy the whole island?" It's like, I don't know who they think I am, but it's like, no.
I've just been flipping houses, and I sold a grocery store.
Yeah. It just hasn't been that good,
Right.
But
and we are building.
I put a hell of a lot of quarters in that stinking pony. I guarantee you that's
right.
Yeah. That's where they got the funds.
That is crazy.
Okay, but first of all, we got to rewind just a little bit. Where do you even find, how did...
Yeah, did you go on realtor.com?
Yeah.
So... True story. We started looking at a lot of different places. We looked in Puerto Rico. We looked in St. Croix. Like the U.S. We were trying to hit U.S. territories to start with because we thought there could be tax advantages.
Okay.
And then for whatever reason, we just never found anything that fit. And so this property, some friends of ours knew a guy that owned it. And and he said, "Hey, we're going to sell this property." And so we all traveled down there. We took tents. We camped on the beach. When we first, there's goats on the island. When we first showed up, there was a dead goat. and
alarm should be going off.
I know.
Yes.
The Colombian friends or wherever they were from, the neighboring.
What's going on here? So that's a true story. So we literally drugged this goat off so we could camp on the beach, and that still didn't deter us. I mean, it's such a beautiful place. It's like picture perfect paradise. And we were like, yeah, we got to buy it. So
incredible.
We did. But it's pretty remote.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. So there's no infrastructure. There's no water. There's no roads. You just got to get there by boat.
So this is when it comes into the play. You have to follow Tyler on TikTok.
Right.
Because that is the cool, because he goes through the whole story, and I'm like, I'll like show Clay, I'll be like in bed, scrolling through, and I'm like, dude, look at this. Like they're hauling the sand off of a barge by hand.
Right.
Like, because you are building the whole thing. You have to do all of it.
Yeah. So
Like you're not like.
Yeah, we haul everything by hand and like wheelbarrows and boats. And we had this, they call it a skiff, but it's just a big flat boat. But we were renting it from a guy, but it doesn't run.
So you have to pull it.
So we would pull it. And I know like there was some local people, like there's a cute old couple named Fenton and Diane. They're kind of old hippies, and they're only people that live on our key full time. And they were so worried about me pulling that. They were like, Tyler, the weather's rough today. I don't know if you should, because we loaded it up. I mean, we'd put pallets of blocks and stuff on it, and we would pull that thing. They were like, make sure you have a knife in case that thing sinks. You can cut it and let it sink so it doesn't sink your boat too. And like they're very
So
cute.
do they have like a house, or do they live in a shack?
Yeah, they live in a house. They have a little wood house, and they're just they're old hippie musicians that
Running water.
Yeah, I think they're pretty set up. I mean, they catch water. There's no wells there, so you either have to catch water or make water, turn seawater into fresh water, and take the salt out of it. But.
Okay,
Yes.
I freak out when we like lose electricity and I don't have water because we're in the
Yeah.
country. If I was having to,
Build a house.
yeah, well, that's not going to happen. There's nothing about this. Jay doesn't even let me get the hammer out of the drawer. No, like that's
Crazy.
intense.
Yeah. So
Okay,
what,
yeah, keep going.
and you just started like this adventure in December?
Yeah, this year. So we went down there the first week in January.
Yeah.
And so
You and your son.
Yeah, Jude and I were down there the whole time. So from basically exactly 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So when we first traveled down there, we just got like the 1 month vacation visa. That's the longest they would let you stay.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we had to re-ask them for another 3 months. And so then that was up at 4 months, and that's when we came home. And
Yeah.
So when do you get to go again?
I think we're going back in July.
And how does that work, like visa wise? Like how often? Like I don't explain that to someone who knows nothing about.
Well, I mean, you can always, if you have a passport, you can always travel. But we're trying to get longer visas, so we have to do like this thing that says, "Hey, we have a property, and even though we're not residents, we can get like a year-long visa at a time. But even still, you have to at least come back to the U.S., step foot in the U.S., and you can go right back. But for whatever reason, they want that check and balance where you leave the country and then come back into the country. So
Interesting.
And you took your son. How old is he?
he's 15.
Yes.
And
You pretty
freshman?
much, it was
Freshman in high
slave
school?
labor the whole time.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
I know.
You should see the
Worked
film.
it
Like
so hard.
He's at that age where he's like growing, so he's like limbs.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
him doing all this work. I'm like, oh, that poor child.
Yeah, and it was good for him. I mean, he got a lot stronger and he loved it. I mean, he's ready to go back and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time for us and for him kind of becoming a man, and he works harder. I mean, even like the Bohemians, it's stereotypical that sometimes there's a thing called island time, it's like there's a siesta every afternoon. We're sitting on the dock, we're drinking beers. And so they see this kid like working like circles around him. They're like, who are you guys? Like they're trying to figure it out,
Right.
because this kid's working like a man.
Wait, so they have siesta time?
Oh yeah. Especially in the summer. Like it's,
Sorry, is
so
that a
hot.
nap?
it's,
so
yeah.
hot.
Oh yeah.
Siesta? That's a nap, right?
Siesta's a Mexican
I know what a
term, I
freaking
suppose.
siesta is, whether I'm in the Bahamas or not. I know what a good nap is.
Yeah.
so-
Because I'm like, he said that, not fiesta, right? So this is what I need to move there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Jude was at an interesting age. I mean, I had the experience of he was at St. Pat's, and this is his first year going into high school.
Right.
Was he nervous at all to kind of leave that behind, or just? I mean, you guys are adventurous anyways, so that's part of kind of like
Yeah, no,
Schmidt family.
I don't think so. He was excited.
Good.
Yeah, he was excited. He's a little bit bummed, that he's missing out like on baseball right now, like because he's played baseball since he was
Right.
just a little
Yeah.
squirt, but so he's a little bummed about that. But it is what it is. And I asked him. I said, would you trade that experience for playing sports this summer? And he's like, no, I wouldn't. Like,
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, so it's
And he's
it's
very
been good
smart
for him.
too. So
Yeah,
it's-
he's.
academically he's gifted.
Yeah, and we signed him up with no, UNL has like a high school program. And so we talked to his principal before we left, and they said, do this, and then he can get his credits. But I worked him so much that now he's playing catch up. So it's a good thing he's not playing sports anyway, because he's still in school.
How about some summer school, Jude?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Labor from January to May, school May to July. You got 2 months.
Yeah.
Get caught up. Let's
Get
go.
after it.
So do you have service there, or?
So
Cell
it's
phone.
spotty. Yeah. So your Verizon phones do work. And then we took Starlink down, which really helped a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then like my cable for my Starlink stopped working, and well, at least that's what they think it is. And so they sent me perfect customer service, sent me a new cable to Nebraska. It's like, so we don't have internet down there right now, you know? So it's, but
so when you leave there, you just like leave everything and hope nobody will swim out there and take your stuff?
We locked everything. We screwed everything shut, locked it all up, and I have people that go by and check it and stuff too. But yeah, it's kind of a big risk because you can get ransacked. But.
Now, will you be using this space like just for you, like for your family? Will you like Airbnb it? Like what? Or
our plan is vacation rental eventually.
Sure.
So we're going to build 2 cottages, and then there's the little wood cottage that we live in now when we're down there. And so so we're hoping to be able to rent them out and use them and
Awesome.
So I saw the floor plan because you posted it. It's because isn't it like 3? You're gonna do 3, like one in the middle, and then
there's one in the back already, and then we're building 2 that are identical.
right. Okay.
They'll be like mirrored images of each other.
Right. Yeah. And so, oh my god.
So
it's
once
so
this
crazy.
airs and it's a hot podcast, I don't know what months we're going to get or what weekends
That's right.
will be
Right.
ours.
Just
But
starts blowing
will
up.
come down. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
it's, that could be our new location.
When they are building this, like they have to do like it's all by hand. Like there's not a skid steer there or
Dude, yeah.
it. Like you guys were like breaking rock.
Yeah.
And like and then just trying to fill things to put in the bait, like the whatever. What do you call that?
The footings.
bottom.
Yeah, when we built the
footings,
foundation,
yes,
that was
and
the
you had to mix
stupidest
all
thing.
the own.
Oh.
Like I've mixed a very small patch of cement for a gas tank once with my husband.
Oh, I bet that was fun.
I'll never do that again. So now
Yeah.
I'm thinking you do that like without running water. Like do you use seawater when you're doing?
No, we have
to
to
have-
make water. So we have a water maker now, but it makes it slow, you know. So we can like fill. I think it takes about 10 minutes to fill a 5-gallon bucket. So we have to be proactive and make water or haul water. But then that was causing some problems too, because the locals were like, "Oh, you're taking too much water," even though I had permission.
Sure.
And it's like because everybody's making water or catching water, and it hasn't been raining all winter, and so there's been a lot of things to navigate like that with the local Bohemians,
Right.
and then so we finally did get a water maker, and so that's awesome. It's way better.
So when you hire people to help you, because there's been a few guys that have helped, like how
Yeah.
much like do you pay them?
Yeah, so
is that like a rude question to ask? I guess
It's not. I've avoided it on the internet just
Yeah.
because it's like I feel like
for sure.
But
Yeah. And or is it like a contract or is it daily?
it should be a contract probably.
Right.
We're getting smarter because we've had some drama, but the going rate is kind of $100 a day, and you
Nice.
feed them lunch. That's kind of the deal. And so we had a guy that was really hard worker, and I was like, awesome. So I gave him $200 a day, and I fed him lunch. But then he started telling me, "Oh, I'm not getting anything for breakfast." And so then I started feeding him breakfast and lunch. And then, "Oh, I don't have anything to eat at home." So then I was feeding him 3 meals a day and $200 a day. And then when it was all said and done, he shook me down for like more money and was like, and so it's like, it was frustrating. But so now the smarter way is to make a contract, sign them up for a specific job, like say, "I want you to put all the doors and windows in," or "I want you to build a roof," or whatever. But I think we're just going to slow down the process, and I'm just going to do it. Jude and I, and Brandy.
Sure.
Does Brandy just love it?
Yeah, she loves going down there. She doesn't.
Because she looks like she has a fun time. I just
Yeah.
haven't seen any of her like hauling.
Yeah,
the dirt
She
from
certainly
the-
has helped, but not on the same scale like that we've done for sure. But yeah, she always jokes around that she's you know, she's past work crew now, so she's, you know, in the manager. She really tells me she wants to be a trophy wife, and she's wondering why that's not.
You know, all the videos of her, I'm like, she's in her bikini and cute sun hat. Like, that girl isn't doing anything with cement or anything.
Right.
You don't know what she's doing. Jeez, it's Brandy. She can do all things.
Yeah. She is stronger than she looks too.
Yeah,
you know,
she
so
is.
it's like, so she is a huge help, but she doesn't want to help. She wants to be a trophy.
Yeah,
I understand.
That's great.
Listen up, Jake. Listen up.
Yeah, same Clay.
What was one of the biggest obstacles or things that you just weren't aware were going to be an obstacle when you got down there?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, probably the biggest thing is just how hard it is to get materials.
I can't imagine.
And I mean, just to, for instance, like if you haul block, you're calling somebody in NASA. Very few have any online presence.
Sorry, what is NASA?
So NASA is the big,
NASA?
Yeah, NASA is like where Paradise Island is. It's where all the cruise ships stop. You know, like they have like Atlantis, and they have on that. You know, Paradise Island sounds like that other place that's not good.
Lena is just like, no, it's like, I don't understand. I have no idea what that means.
I really don't. I'm so lost right now.
Yep.
Explain it later. Anyways.
Off air.
No, anyway, but it is called Paradise Island. There's like Atlantis, and they, you know, that's where you see like, there's it's just a big touristy type of place. But they have infrastructure, they have materials, and so we call someplace in Nassau that we set up, you know, to get materials, and then they ship them on a mailboat. Well, that doesn't always happen. They don't always get it on the mailboat, and then the mailboat comes, your materials are there or not there. It's like crazy because all of a sudden then the mailboat says, oh, we're not running this week, and so you could be like 2 weeks out waiting for stuff, and so that was the biggest challenge by far, just because you just couldn't get stuff.
What about the native critters? Have you come across any?
Yeah, what are the critters over there? Is there like
honestly,
snakes?
There's no snakes on our island. There's no snakes at all that we've ever seen.
Okay.
So there's scorpions. There's rats, which the rats are kind of a big problem over there. Yeah, and then there's goats. A lot of goats, which is weird because I think somebody put the goats there and they just kind of thrived because there's not any natural predators, I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
I get it.
You know, there's no coyotes or
if
anything.
the goats could eat the rats, this could work out. But
Well, the humans could eat the goat.
yeah, well, they got to get over there. And then that'll be Schmick's delicacy.
And the locals do eat the goats. They can go hunt them, and they do.
Oh, wait, hunt them?
Yeah, they go and shoot them with a shotgun. There's a lot of gun control in the Bahamas. So they can have shotguns, so they just put like, you know, a buckshot and shoot a slug at a goat with a shotgun.
Clay loves goat. He'd probably be like, we're going to eat goat for supper every night.
Oh my gosh.
So are they like pack rats?
They're kind of pack rat-ish. I don't think they're the exact, because we have pack rats at home here, and I don't think they're exactly the same as that.
Are
But
you talking about your kids or like rats?
Maybe they took the rats with them. There were rats until Schmick.
Yeah. So the funny thing is we were getting a load of blocks one day off of one of the mailboats, and the mailboats are rough, and people travel on them, and it's like you know, this traveling band of whoever, and so I see them set a pallet of blocks in our little skiff, and I see a rat out, and so now there's a rat on the
skiff.
No.
And you have
and we're in the water.
Nope. No.
And so I tell those guys, I said, there's a rat in there, like, just so you know, because I'm pulling the boat. They're in the skiff. And
I would have jumped ship.
Yeah,
if they came out.
So it's like
Gross.
this big old fat rat that came off the other boat, and we did end up killing it, but it was like.
Are you okay with critters like that?
Yeah, I don't want them in the cabin. Like we've had 2 in the cabin, and so like,
That you slept in?
Yeah, that's
So like, was one like snuggled up to you and you like?
No, I kept hearing stuff like fall. Like I had like paint rollers and stuff because this little cabin, so we had stuff just everywhere, and there's paint rollers like falling off like as he's walking along the ridge of the board. And so finally, I get up and it's like, oh man, there's a rat. So we've never killed one in the little cabin. Like we've just run them out. But then Brandy was there when we had one too, so she was not that happy.
Trophy
about
wife
that.
was not. No.
It's not all glamorous.
Oh no.
Yeah. So yes.
Did you have to buy a boat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we bought a boat and shipped it down there.
Oh,
and
shit. What? You
Yeah.
didn't just buy one there?
Well,
No?
it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. And the boats down there get run hard, and so a lot of them, they're just rougher.
It's
So
like
we
buying
bought
a used car.
Yeah. So
Ran great last year.
right.
Be great for a college kid.
Because boats down there, like everybody needs a boat.
Yeah.
And so so we bought a boat in Florida, shipped it down there, and that's another big thing that is been a learning process, because if you have a guy keep your boat, then they kind of feel like they have rights to that boat, so they can run your boat, and there was there was another guy that just shipped a boat, like a nicer boat than ours, and this guy was running it, and I was like, how much are they supposed to be running it? And there you won't believe this story, but so the guy that was working for me, his dad died while we were there. Very sad.
Oh,
I mean, he's old,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
so they called me one day, hey, tell Valentina to come over here. So we went over there. Your dad's dead. So they start trying to figure out, but there's no facilities. They don't know what to do with the body. They can't get the government to come get it. They asked, there's one restaurant. They said, do you have a freezer big enough we can put it? I mean,
Stop talking.
I'm telling you, this is what actually happened. And so
Don't look at me. Don't make eye contact.
I can't.
Okay, keep going.
it's so
If we go there, we're not eating at this restaurant ever. No fried food.
well, they turned it away, so just
Oh,
yeah,
and,
see?
and so
They're fine.
I just packed it in salt water.
so the body is, it's the Bahamas, so it's 80 degrees, and they asked me, hey, can we use your boat to take it to the mainland? And I said, dude, my boat's not been running right. We were trying to figure it out, but I said, I don't feel comfortable putting a dead body and going an hour
Getting
boat
stuck
ride
out there with the dead body
I
with
mean,
the boat. Anyways,
yes.
this is your
These
story.
are shark infested waters. I mean, it's like no, I don't think I feel comfortable.
What?
And so this other kid that had a boat down there, we loaded this. I helped them load this dead body in the back of this boat so they could take it to the mainland, where there was a facility where they could put him on ice and wait for the funeral. I mean, it sounds morbid, but it's that's what they have to deal with, right? So that there's just nothing.
Jake, getting
Go
on the
down
jet
there
ski
in
with
good
me
health.
during lady time is not that big. I'm not a rotting corpse. Oh my gosh!
Right. So it's those are some of the challenges that we've just had to deal with, but it's it's crazy. You don't even think about stuff like that. It's
No.
what do you do if someone
No.
dies? The other thing, and I TikToked about this with Jude cut himself
Oh,
really
I
bad
saw- yeah.
on
Okay.
some rebar.
Okay.
And so bad that I put a tourniquet on it. And
I saw that because then I had never. You posted that, and when we had rebar up out of our garage, and Clay's like, "Don't let the kids stab themselves with it," and then I was like, "Pfft, who would do that?"
Right. Yeah. And he sliced his
Yeah.
arm wide open. I mean, it was splurting blood out. It was bad. And so we try to find the nurse. The nurse is in Black Point, which is another island that's probably 20-minute boat ride. And
But you said you had put a tourniquet on it.
yeah, so we
Okay.
put a tourniquet on, wrapped it real good, loosened the tourniquet. It was holding the blood, so
Okay.
it was okay. So we
Didn't need to cut it.
No,
off.
we went to Black Point to find this nurse, and so we're in their little medical facility, and I have a picture somewhere of what it's going to cost you. It's $15 for a visit, because it's all subsidized government healthcare, but there's no doctors. They don't exist. And so she's on the phone with a doctor in Nassau again, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen you do it before, so I think I can do it." And he's talking her through how to do internal stitches because it was so deep, it was down in the muscle. She had to do internal stitches, and as this thing's
So as you're
blood,
doing this, are you getting a discount?
so Brandy's Brandy's there at the time, and she's like, "Where's the doctor at?" And she's like, "There's no doctor. He's in Nassau. I'm it." And there was not even lights in this facility. So I have my phone out, and I'm holding the light. while this girl is on the phone with this doctor. So Brandy's holding the phone, and so they finally get it stitched so it stops bleeding. And it was the craziest thing. So then she sends a video to the doctor. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, go ahead and do the external stitches. And it healed fine, but it's like, that's what you deal with. Like, you have to be
This sounds like
careful.
Jake every day in the backyard. Like he can just fix it himself. Some glue and some wire.
I'm telling you what, you have to be a survivor.
Yeah.
I mean, you just
Yeah.
do, because
Yeah.
you got to figure it out on your own.
I think actually that's probably the most beautiful part about what you're experiencing and what your kids are experiencing is the independence of having figured out.
Right.
You got to figure it out. And so much of like what happens in our society anymore is not that.
Right.
And so that is a really beautiful thing that they are getting to experience.
Yeah.
So when the houses get built, like how do you fill them like with furniture? Do you like buy that on IKEA? It ships over?
Yeah,
or?
it's tough to ship. It's way tougher than you would think shipping stuff from the U.S. because you have to send it. They're very concerned about getting their taxes and their duty and all that
Yeah.
because there's not like, that's basically all of the, there's no income tax in Bahamas. So it's just property tax and what they call VAT tax, which is value added tax on all goods, and then duty when you ship it in. So some of those things are really high. So if you ship stuff in, it's got to go to a broker, what they call a broker, and then they have to go through everything, and then they inventory it, and then they tax you accordingly, and then they send it. So if, for instance, I was going to buy a cheap little Harbor Freight mixer because we burned up the one that I had bought from a guy, and that $300 mixer, by the time I could get it down there, was going to cost me about $900, and it would be about 3 weeks. So that's kind of what.
So
you
do
deal
they
with.
have places like you can go and buy that then?
Yeah, not around where we are,
Right,
but
in
yeah,
another
like
island.
Georgetown, like what they call the mainland. Like there's a town called Georgetown, and that's about an hour boat ride. Or else you just order it from that. Everybody gets most everything from
So when you
Nassau.
say an hour boat ride, like can you look off in the distance and see it, or are you just going out to sea and you have to learn how to compass yourself there?
Well, see, there's a whole string of islands that they call the Exuma Keys, and so you're never usually without seeing some
Land,
island.
yeah.
Yeah. So it feels pretty safe because you're not in real deep water. In fact, the danger is if it gets too shallow is the bigger problem.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So, but you always see land.
How do you know, like, to find the rule? Like, who do you contact to find the rules and find out all about this stuff and know that you're not kind of being taken advantage of? Like, who's your contact to figure this? I mean, I just feel like it's like,
Or do you just learn by trial and error? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, whoops, I wasn't supposed to do that.
It's been a bit of a trial and error for sure because they see you. A lot of the local people see you and they think you're an American or you're a white person or whatever, so you must have a lot of money if you're down there because, I mean, that's not unfounded because there are people that have a lot of money that are down there and because it's expensive and so they think that. And so it's been a learning process and we've gotten taken advantage of for sure along the way, but mostly, yeah, I don't know how else to say it, but it's just been, we're getting smarter every day.
So you were in the Marines.
Yes.
Right? So do you feel like that maybe helped you prepare you for any of this? Because I feel like
not the average person can just walk off the street and head over there and start building. Is that what you're saying?
exactly and live off of goat
Rats and goats.
water that they've made by themselves, like the Marines and Navy
You
SEAls.
don't think we could do this?
I just don't feel like I would have packed the right stuff in my bag.
I don't even like
I've
getting in the
seen-
tent in the backyard because I'm
Same.
like, what am I going to forget in the house?
Yeah. And I've seen what they pack on these trips, and I'm like, where's all the other stuff? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Your
sure
beard
it
trimmer,
has.
did you pack that?
I forgot it.
Obviously not.
Even my clippers. That's why I got long hair now. Yeah, no. Yeah, for sure. That's helped me throughout my life. I think
Yeah.
it grew me up. It taught me a lot of things, and I packed MREs when we went down there. Because I was just like, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Right.
The first time we went there, I was like, it's like, oh shoot, I better get a compass. Like, because we're not like seafaring
Right,
folk.
right. What? Western Nebraskans are knowledgeable
And
about
so
the
it's like
sea?
you head out in this ocean. It's like what?
Yeah.
I think I better have a compass. At least then I know I'm heading south, and I know that's the general. Because we went and found this island by ourselves. We rented a boat the first time we were down there, and so I told Brandy, I said, "Does Walmart sell compasses?" I said, go to the camping section, see if you can find a compass because I think we're going to need one. That's a true story.
Is there one on your phone? But if it doesn't work.
Yeah, but you have to have signal, I think.
Gosh.
Oh, geez. Hello, technology. See, it's ruining us.
Horrible.
I know.
Like, we have a ruler and everything on our phone.
There's a reason somebody called it North Platte because that's the only way I know that's North. Because it's North Platte.
I think I lived here 5 years. I'm like, I'm headed down to North Platte. And Clay's like, it is up. It is up to North Platte.
Whatever.
Like,
Details.
I'm headed there.
What is the one thing that you want your kids to get? And there's probably more than one thing from this experience. Like, what do you think is going to be, you're going to look back and be like, that was so amazing. I'm so glad they had.
Yeah. I think when we first started out, and maybe it's still like, at first I just kind of wanted adventure, you know, it's like, I want them to be able to go and survive in the world. Like growing up, we were never outside of the 5 states that surround Nebraska, right? You know, so I never saw the ocean until I joined the Marine Corps. Like we like never went anywhere.
Got it.
And so it's like, I want them to see, hey, there's a big world out there, and it's not that scary. Like you can go out and you can figure out whatever you want to do. And so that's part of it. But then part of it too was just like very practical. Like, let's get off our freaking phones. Let's get off the iPads. Let's get some books. You know, let's rough it. Let's hang out as a family. Let's go fish. Let's go to the beach, you know? And so that's the other part of it, is just kind of like, I really feel like kids are in these dang phones constantly, and it's like, man, you're missing the world. Mm-hmm. And so, and it was good for that, for sure. It's like, if your phone doesn't work, you're finding something else to do.
Do you think, not to go down this path, but do you think even like our sports are a little bit that? Like, if it's not the technology, it's this like institutionalized of like, not your school, it's your sports, and that keep kids from experience. I mean,
I think I understand what you're asking, because we got so sucked into, and I know this is about coaching. Yeah, this
all has to do with coaching.
100%.
So, but it is true. Like, you kind of get stuck in this rat race, and we went through a time where we were chasing all the kids in all different sports and all different travel teams. And I told Randy, I was like, you understand that we have a choice here, right? We can choose to do whatever we want. We don't have to chase this way or chase that way, or you go this way with this kid and I go this way with this kid. Yeah. Like, is that what we want, or do we want to do something as a family unit that everybody enjoys, you know? And so, God's honest truth, this is like, I get a family meeting together and I get this big notepad. I said, everybody, we're going to do a little visioning, you know, a little vision board. What do you guys want to do? Like, we have the choice. We have the choice. We're not tied to the grocery store anymore. We have this real estate business, sure, and that requires some maintenance, but we can go do what we want to do. And everybody started writing down. I said, who wants to go try to build a house on the beach? Oh yeah, and so we worked it down, and everybody voted, and building a house on the beach won. And so it's like, we're going to go do this together.
Awesome. That is so cool. That just gives me chills. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's
awesome.
And I said, in order to do one thing, we have to give up another thing. And so, and I've had to remind Jude about the whole baseball thing. I was like, and if we're gonna go one way, like, that also means sacrificing another part of life that it's really enjoyable. I know you love it, you know. So trying to get everybody on the same page on that whole thing, you know, and everybody's like gung ho, like, yeah, let's do it. Building a swimming pool in the backyard was number 2. So.
Is that happening?
Oh my gosh. Did you hear me just say? I was like, Are you doing that now? Is Jude out there digging? By himself? You're going to do it yourself?
No, we're trying to catch up on maintenance. So the town
Jude has to get school done by July so that he can go back. So he doesn't have time.
Right now, like, end game, like, you still want to stay in rentals, I'm assuming, and then just continue to do this life.
Yeah.
Or is there something bigger? Like, do you want to buy the Chief and redo it? Or
well, I don't.
You don't want 200 rooms, you know?
No, I don't think so. I am reading a book on commercial real estate right now.
Okay.
We own the building that Charter West is in down here at the end of Norris, and commercial real estate's lovely.
Is that sarcasm? I don't understand.
No, it's lovely because when you do residential real estate, there's constant problems.
Oh, sure.
Like Connor, my property manager, he was literally somebody had taken a window out and there's a rainstorm coming and they can't figure out how to get the window back in. You know, it's just stuff like that constantly.
Yeah.
And so commercial real estate, you never have any problems.
sound like my brother. He says the same thing.
It's
So interesting.
So I'm reading a book on that right now. It's commercials harder on the front end, and then you always run the risk of like having a building that you can't fill, especially in a lot of these towns around here. It's like that happens a lot, you know.
True.
So
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 3 brothers.
What?
Yeah.
Older? Or you? Wait, don't tell us where you are.
Okay.
Don't tell us where you
I'm
sit.
guessing
within-
number 2.
You're guessing 2?
Yep, it's just a guess.
I'm gonna say 3.
I am number 2. I'm second oldest. Yeah.
Good job, Lena.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So
Are your brothers like you?
somewhat like my oldest brother was a missionary in Haiti for 5 years. So that was another deal. So I went to Haiti twice when he was down there. Now he runs a grocery store in Minneapolis, and then the brother just under me. I don't know if you've ever heard of like Kincaid beer.
Oh yeah.
He's a partner in that, so he started that
The
Kincaid
third
beer.
sibling always is a little wild. That's why I was assuming, you know, like
Okay.
did something.
Who else? Who
different.
partners with him with that? I was just gonna say the name Greg, but I don't know if that's right.
There's a guy named Barry in Broken Bow, and then I can't remember the third
Okay.
guy.
Kincaid.
And then there's a guy named Dan, that's kind of their brewmaster,
Okay.
and he's the 4th partner. But I think there's 4 partners. in
Okay.
it.
And your oldest sibling?
Yeah, he's the one in Minneapolis.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
one
he was a
Haiti,
missionary in
The
Haiti. and-
baby we don't know about yet.
Right.
Yeah, the baby.
This is us.
So Adam works for Cody, and they have a part of their business that they make whiskey. I think they're making different spirits, and so he's kind of in there running their warehouse, I think, and doing distilling. I don't know the ins and outs.
Were you
of it.
guys like close growing up? Like, what's the age difference?
We're all 4 years apart.
Oh my lord.
So yeah,
So your mom,
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah, okay.
She had,
Yeah.
had babies. for a
she's an amazing human.
Oh,
yeah.
Never met her, but I just feel like she's a saint.
She donated her life for
She
a lot
did.
of years.
Right.
Because I'm
Yeah.
like,
Nope.
And
Yeah.
4
Okay.
years is just the exact amount of time that there's never a dispute on who is going to win a fight. Like that, you know what I mean?
True.
Yes.
You're just big enough.
Like until you get past high school, like you know your older brother is going to beat you.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And
I just think
but
of it
you
like-
always tested it.
Yeah, I'm
within
sure.
16 years, she always
Stop. I know. That's all I'm thinking about.
know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know.
Oh gosh, like she couldn't get rid of any hand-me-downs for 16 years.
right.
Yeah.
would've been-
Somebody was in diapers somewhere.
Oh.
God. Okay,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
That's
but
awesome.
we were close.
Sure.
Yeah, we're
Cool.
and we all did the grocery business together, and that was good for a lot of years. So, but family business is tough, you know.
I can.
And
Yeah.
it's just really tough. There's just always going to be a lot of challenges, and people for years were like, "How could you guys do it? You know, you're such a," and like they didn't see us fighting behind the scenes, you
Right.
know,
Right.
or disagreeing on where we're going or what we're doing. So, so now my life is pretty simple. I have one employee. You know, at Schmick's Market at our biggest, we had 150 employees. A lot of people don't realize that.
That's
Like,
a lot.
we have 4 stores, 150 employees, and I was making less money than I make now. Like all that headache and all that running around.
Yes.
and
Work
it's like,
smarter, not.
I know.
Yeah.
And now I have
Yeah.
one employee, if you don't count Brandy.
I was gonna say, and a trophy wife.
Yeah.
but Brandy's doing all the, you know, she's doing all the book work and.
So is there like a
So it's
book?
awesome.
Like, did you like listen to a podcast or read a book that was just like made you like want to change, or like what was it that like was like
question.
we're tired of this? Let's
Right.
you know, because like everybody has that person.
I read a lot of books. But the quintessential like real estate book is Rich Dad Poor Dad. Like
Shut the
always
dang
gets-
door.
You're the third person
On this podcast to bring that book up.
Yeah, that's it's kind of
Yes.
cliche at this point,
Yeah.
but it really is good. It'll make you think about money in a different way.
So I tried to get on Libby to get it, like Libby's an online library. I think there's an 8-week wait.
Oh, I got it on Thrift Book for like $3.
Well, I don't
I'll
spend
order
money
you
on
one.
books, so okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So just anyway. So
Let you
yeah,
borrow it.
you are legitimately the third person on this podcast to say that book, and so that's
Yeah, so I
going.
the 4-hour work week was another one that changed my mental, because especially in our, you know, good Christian family, good
Hardworking.
hardworking. Like it
work
was so
ethic.
built into our DNA that we thought it was normal to work 70, 80 hours a week. You know what I mean?
huge.
Like
This is-
it-
yeah,
especially
huge.
for like Brandy's family.
right. And so it's like
Now she's like, I know why she wants to be just. Yeah.
So this is so true.
Yeah,
This
and-
needs to. People need to hear this 100%. So
yeah,
keep
and
going.
so So that whole idea, like that you're not like, it's like we got our worth from how much work we did and how much, and it wasn't even about chasing the dollar completely. It was just about, I think it was just about working hard and just killing yourself and running from one thing to the next. And so that book, Tim Ferriss wrote that book, 4 Hour Work Week. And I was like, this guy's beating the system. Like, you don't have to do it. And so after struggling all those years, trying to make money in the grocery business, which is a really tough business, people don't realize how hard that is. I mean, you got Walmart right in your back door. It is a tough business. And I mean, we shop at Walmart now mostly because you can dial it in on your phone and go pick it up.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you compete with that? You know? And so anyway, I knew that I didn't want a business that I was tied. I didn't want to, have a job. I didn't want to be a business owner that was just buying myself a job, basically.
Right.
And so I started looking for passive income, and that's kind of how I headed down that road. So yeah, those books are good. I mean, there's a lot of the most influential book that I've ever read, probably for me though, is How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. I mean, it's just one of those books. If you've not read it, like, you need to. But
so along with this, and then we'll kind of wrap up, but like, so your rental, and like, I don't know if you do this as much, like maybe you and Brandy were like, you know what, this CrossFit thing, Brandy, you take it, because she's more in it than you are.
Right.
But like, you also have that too.
Yeah. And it's technically not a CrossFit gym anymore.
Right. Yeah.
We just dropped the name.
Yeah.
But
Which we also mentioned earlier on one of our other podcasts, because we talked about that.
Which, in mentioning that, so you guys renamed and like rebranded.
Yeah.
It's Power.
It's called the Brick Fit House.
Yes, Brick Fit House. But
She's
so
a brick.
that's, oh my, I get it.
I was thinking from beach to bench, because I'm like, they're working out.
I mean, I think it's like a brick shit house.
Okay.
It's like
Gosh,
a brick
that's
fit
great.
house.
But so when you guys are doing that, you guys,
that's more my mentality. I can work out there now. I'm not intimidated by a shit house.
Yes.
I need to go back. I just need like the 12 o'clock class. I can't make the other ones work. But I didn't realize that shop used to be a forgery.
Yeah.
Right?
There's still like a horseshoe out
I
front.
know. Well,
which is
for some reason,
been in
I
the
just
concrete.
thought that. I asked Brandy because she made those pictures. I was like, wait a second, did you guys put that there or not? And she's like, no, it used to be an old blacksmith shop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I think it was a blacksmith shop, and then like a car mechanic, and
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
then
cool.
It was like storage for a while, and then we bought it.
I like the history on that.
That is
which
really
is fun.
cool. That's crazy.
Okay, so we did.
Wait, are you on? You got to go. Is this why we're?
No, we have like
I'm
20
still
minutes.
really mesmerized by this whole thing.
all of it. We have
All
like
of it.
20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, so when we were talking before, and you're talking about the money, I feel like that is such an important thing to talk about with the grind, because when you come from Nebraska and you go anywhere else, everyone's like, oh, you're probably a really hard worker, you're dedicated, you have this mentality.
Right.
And then, like you said, it's a rat race from what you talked about with following kids' activities to putting in the 80 hours, which becomes just expected.
Right.
Yet you're not living a life of fulfillment in the sense of like really following your dreams.
Yes.
How was that for your kids when because obviously the Schmick grocery store had a name in town and
Sure.
people were connected to it. What was it like for your kids when you decided to get out of that?
They asked us if we were getting a divorce.
Oh, of course they did. Of course. Yeah.
Because, and my girls thought you were moving, because why else would they get rid of the grocery store, that they were never going to call the other name? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot tied into that.
Because
It's a small town. Of course, everyone's
Right.
probably like, who's
here we go.
Yep, who's going out?
It's a big deal, and we set them down and we said, hey, we need to talk to you guys. And they literally, because I think some of their friends had gotten divorced, even though their parents,
sure.
and that was evidently new in their minds. And they're like, and then Penelope chimes up right after, I can't remember if it was Judah, or I think it was Clara that said, are you guys getting a divorce? I was like, no, of course not. And then Penelope says, I'm going with Dad if you are. I think Brandy still kind of resents that.
Understandable. I remember. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Every kid has that thought, though. I don't care how amazing your parents are, because I remember thinking the same thing. My parents were
Yeah.
always fine, but I was like, oh, something goes down, I'm going with my mom. Oh yeah, I'm not. My dad's a boo. So that's
hilarious.
So that's a true story.
God,
Yeah,
that's so funny.
But honestly, in the aftermath, it was pretty easy. It was probably harder on me because I couldn't go to the dang Catholic school function without, hey, can I put an order in for the produce or this or, you know what I mean? It's like I'm actually, you know, how many times I had to explain because I left before they sold.
Oh, sure. So, really? That would have been confusing.
Yes.
Nice job, Tyler. Oh, people are like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's happening?
Yeah. And that just started the, ball rolling and then they sold.
And then didn't your parents move away too? Because were your parents living here?
Yeah. So they moved, everybody moved to Lincoln and ran the stores out there. So we sold the McCook and the Broken Bow both to Gary.
Okay.
And then they went to run the Lincoln ones. And,
got it.
And then it was just I think it was less than 2 years before they sold those two as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
And none of them have moved back?
Nope.
Here? They're all
they all live in Lincoln.
Were there any family members when you decided to do this Bahamas things that were like, they've lost their minds?
Yeah, all of them.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
They're not divorced. They're crazy.
Yeah. And he's not even taking Brandy with him.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, a lot of people just think that we're crazy, but I'm just like, hey, we do stuff a little bit differently,
Yes.
and that's okay.
The most interesting people do.
So
100%.
within
really.
the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all the things that I've heard, we have a good friend that's reading it, and he's like, you have to think differently and like hang out with people that also think differently. Is there somebody that you have done, or is it like, or have you always been around those people? You just needed to.
Yeah, I can't pinpoint anybody.
Yeah.
For real. I mean, like I don't know. I just always.
Or the conversations are different.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because I have a lot of friends that work regular jobs. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are business owners too. But it's like, yeah, in America, like it does seem like from school on, like we're just kind of taught how to be good employees, and I don't know at what point I kind of just took that off and was like, I'm gonna try to do something else, and now it's easy for me to say, like, I would love to get paid and not work. You know what I mean? I mean, that's kind of the goal. Like, we want to work as least as possible and make the most money as possible.
Yeah.
And I used to think, like, if I used to say that, like, that's a sinful thought. Like, it's almost like that went against every fiber in my being. But now it's like, no, like, we want to get paid when we're sleeping. Warren Buffett says, if you can't get paid when you're sleeping, you're not going to be rich. And so just trying to figure those things out. And I think I chased just money for a lot of years. Just money. And then now I'm chasing freedom. Like, freedom is worth more than money. And so it's like, time's all we have. And so if I can figure out a way to not work so much and to go on these adventures, that's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like I really need to hear that, Tyler, because as a Catholic school librarian, I am rolling in the dough. Oh, God. I sleep. I cover up with dollar bills at night.
I use mine to wipe my nose.
Right.
Yeah.
Slinging donuts down. Oh, yeah. It's so, I mean, when I say I wanted to retire at 40, it wasn't as a monetary thing.
Right.
It was truly as the freedom. It's 100%. I remember being in college and a professor saying, the whole reason that the work day is longer than the school day is to keep women, like kind of crutched into like taking care of their kids and not having the freedom and the independence. And that forever stuck with me, that I'm like, man, it's got to be different. There's got to be a better way. Not necessarily a better way. It's got to be different.
Sure.
That's it. I'm not judging anybody based on what they do, but yeah, there's a different way to live.
Yeah. For sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So time is what you have. Time's what's the most valuable.
So
and we
true.
don't know if we have time, I guess, but it's like, well, you do have the time. It's like, man, try to go do something interesting or fun or fulfilling or whatever. I don't know. But.
Besides Jude's arm, what was the scariest, or when you were like, oh crap, this could go very badly very quick, situation you've had?
Our boat broke a belt at night when we were halfway home from Black Point. We had gone to pick up our friend Gina, who is partners in the island, and there's a belt that is at the top of the boat. It's like a serpentine belt, and it broke on the way home, and so we're out there floating in the middle of the night.
Oh, gosh.
I bet Gina was like, "Oh, this is fun.
Yeah,
I love this."
Yeah, right, and it's like we could have just dropped an anchor and just slept on the boat and waited for morning. But luckily, we had just saw a guy in Black Point, and here's a little plug for Go Light. Like, Goals had sent us a Go Light package when we were down there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
And, yeah,
That's
because they
awesome.
saw one of the videos,
Yeah.
and so they sent us this Go Light, and so literally like that Go Light probably saved our life that night, because we flashed that we took that
Shut
and
up.
we flashed this guy down, and he pulled us home.
Shut.
Yeah.
It's like a movie.
It is.
You know, speaking of that, like with your TikTok, all
Hey,
these
Go
people
Light
put these
sponsor,
link trees
yes.
in, and then everyone sends them money. Like
Right.
there's some big TikTokers. I'm like, they don't have jobs. They just make TikToks,
Yeah.
and
I know.
people give them money.
I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah. How do
But
they
then
do
you're
that?
then you're locked into the old technology again.
I
That's
know.
Yeah, but just like a
still,
few
yeah.
TikToks, like
Yeah.
people, then they're thriving for that. Like some of these people, like,
Well,
they're just funny.
We could get to Go Light
okay.
before he does.
This is, yes, yes.
our next
And we need
sponsor.
Tyler to teach us how to make a TikTok.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
We are not.
Yeah.
I'm
We-
not capable. You are
We
very
need Tyler
capable.
to do a voiceover for one of ours.
Yes, that can happen.
Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I'd never made any type of social media video ever in my life before
Mm-hmm.
this, and so it's not really that hard to figure out.
Okay, you know what?
Fine. We'll try
Insult.
it.
Yeah.
How about this? You put us in one, and then we'll go
What
from
made you
there.
decide to do that? Actually,
Mostly just because a lot of people thought we were crazy, and a lot of people wanted to see what was going on. You know?
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure how much I was going to be able to communicate. So I was just like, I'll start making these videos, but uploading the videos when you don't have internet was a huge challenge for a
Right.
while until we got
yeah.
better internet. But yeah, so mostly just fun. And now that like it hasn't blown up, but you know, it's like on TikTok for sure. We have a lot of followers and videos that have, you know, 500,000 views and stuff. Like, it's like, this is weird, you know? And so now I actually am trying to figure out a way, if there's a way to monetize it.
100%. You have to.
Yes.
Why
Yeah,
not? Yes.
so I'm trying to get Jude on. It's like, dude, like you're young,
is
like
your
figure
thing.
this
Yeah,
out.
you could-
yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
And so he got his little Amazon Associates account where you can like link
Yep.
products and
Yep.
videos, and so he's gonna start working that end of it. And I was like, dude, you
Try
might as well
it.
try it.
Yeah,
Yes,
see,
no
it
kidding.
works.
That's
I've
incredible.
Seen some things about that.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
What, didn't you have some pigs? Okay, along with the goats and rats. Have you?
so there's a tourist place down there. There's no pigs on our island.
Oh, okay.
But there's a tourist place where you go swim with the pigs, and it's a big Instagram thing. Like, I don't know why it got so huge, but like these girls, it's like the quintessential picture. It's like, here's me swimming with these
I
pigs.
just don't think that's sexy or like that's not something. It's on my bucket list.
Right. Maybe if you
Like-
stand by a pig, you look better. You know, it's like,
Wait a second. Now I'm offended.
yeah.
I'm like, it's like for me, it'd be like a pig swimming with a pig. Like no one wants that.
Oh God, this is so wrong. Everything about it. Oh God.
Yeah, so I don't know what the draw is, but it's like you boat into this little beach and they have these pigs and you can feed them and they'll drink a beer. I mean, it's funny, but they bite people too sometimes
Well,
because
I
they're
would
trying to
think
get
so.
food, you know,
Yeah.
and
You're not bringing snacks. Don't get in the water.
but
Gosh, they'd
Yeah.
be, oh God.
but it is, yeah, it's just it's kind of a big deal. I don't completely understand it, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
That's crazy.
yeah.
Well, he kind of shared what he's reading.
Yeah.
So
But
we
no.
gotta wrap
I
it.
want to do
Okay.
a fun little thing. Okay.
Okay.
Since we didn't do a warm up,
No. Oh yeah, we did.
we're going to do a mad minute.
Okay.
So Lena, get your thinking cap on.
All right.
So we're going to ask him random questions very fast.
Okay.
You answer quickly.
Whatever
Then we'll ask
pops
the
in
next
my
question
head. Okay.
for a minute. Wait, you ready? You're going to start.
Okay. Ready?
Go.
Things you would take to the beach.
I would take sunscreen, probably a towel.
Whiskey or beer?
Whiskey, but I like both.
Flip flops or sandals.
What's the difference?
A strap over the top, strap between the toe.
Okay, probably flip.
Sorry, I can't focus on that.
No? Okay. Well, are we wrapping up now? I feel like let's just end it. And done. Parents, don't let your kids listen this long. I feel like that's what it is.
Yeah,
The
it's-
strap between the toe just
like-
got me. I don't know.
Some people.
Dong.
Oh, I'm sweating.
Okay, yeah. So we do ask a few wrap-up questions. You
Okay.
told us what do you listen to anything? Do you have a radio? Do you have like a speaker over there?
Yeah. So once we have an internet, we can get on Amazon Music or whatever and listen to music. And I listen to a lot of books. I have like the Audible subscription, so.
What are the last 3 you've listened to?
I'm listening to the 48 Laws of Power right now, which feels a little weird because it's a bit.
I think I tried, and it's the voice
feels,
is really bad.
And it's kind of like the concepts are like you could take advantage of people hit this way, or you could cheat somebody this way, And so it's like it's probably good information to be armed with, but it feels a little manipulative to me.
Okay.
So yeah. Before that, I'm trying to think. Like I just Jordan Peterson has the new book, not the.
I love him.
Yeah, it's
So good.
Yeah, he's like the best.
He is mind blowing. Like there's so much I want my kids to already start listening to that he says. It's like, oh my gosh, if you could hear it now rather than waiting until you're almost 50, change your whole world.
Yeah. So his first one's like 12 Rules of Life, I think. I think it's 12 Rules of Life. Okay. But the second one's not as good as the first one. But well, actually, I think 12 Rules of Life was his second book. But regardless, that's the good one. And I can't think of a third.
Well, you wouldn't know this, but go ahead.
Commercial real estate.
That one back. But like Jude donated, I think 19 books to the library before he graduated. Yeah. So you know that they're a family of readers, which is beautiful and huge.
I would read a book on a beach every day.
Yeah. The kids are huge readers.
Yes.
They were always
all of them are. Yeah, I shouldn't even say just Jude. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But Jude was Jude was way.
Yes.
I mean, he
Even
had to
Claire
set some
year.
St. Pat's record.
Yes, I think so. I'm not even kidding. I think he does have a record. I'm not even.
He
and Claire and
should.
Penelope both, I'm sure. Well, I know we're for top readers for their classes too. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
What is your like music of choice?
Probably country, but I listen to a little bit of everything. Like, I would say country is probably old country is probably the most common.
The good stuff.
Yeah, because we were working on our cabin when we first got there, and the old guy Fenton, he says I can't remember what we were, but it was some old song. He's like, I think these guys are cowboys,
Some Garth Brooks or something.
Yeah. So anyway, so probably more country than I like a lot of rock. I love Pearl Jam. I love old rock. I love Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. But
caffeine of choice?
Coffee every morning.
Just plain black coffee.
No, I like it with a little bit of cream, but no sugar.
Okay,
yeah.
Got it.
It I don't know, like it. It's more enjoyable. If I drink a lot of coffee, so then I think the acidity kind of gets my stomach rolling if I don't have a little cream.
So we talked about this, I think, with Brandy, but Murph, 2 years ago.
Oh, here we go.
He was drinking coffee before he ran. I was my stomach was
already gurgling
for him, and I'm like, oh my, you just drank coffee and ran a mile, oof.
Yeah. I drink probably too much coffee, but
insane.
My body lets me know when there's too much after a certain amount of time, and then it's like, oh god,
gotta go.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Gotta go.
This is amazing.
If you could give yourself or anybody words of advice, what would you give them?
I don't know. I'm trying to think because this is now this pressure's on, but I think that I would, if I could have started buying investments that paid me instead of spending money on stuff that I pay, car payment versus a rental house, if I would have come out of high school and say use my first time home buyer's loan to buy a fourplex and live in one of those and rent the other three, it's good Lord, why would you not do that as a kid? Especially go to some place like Lincoln and do that, and then go to school, and rent out three. You live in one, and it's why would you not do that? It's getting harder now, and interest rates are going up.
I can't wait to read Tyler's book when it comes out.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it'll be good.
It's gonna be a good one. We joke around about that a lot.
It has to happen.
Just do it.
It has to happen.
When in your spare time.
Each kid can have a chapter too, because they need to be. I mean, what's so interesting about their experience is that they have kids at different ages, kind of spread out.
Yeah.
That their take for, you know what I mean, when this whole thing, not that it'll come to an end, but when you get to that point that you're just embracing the experience and you're not going through the work part, will be very interesting.
Yeah, because you'll be on a beach.
Penelope's young,
drinking black coffee with a little bit of cream.
Yeah.
With the goats.
Yeah, we talk about that. Jordan Pearson talks about raising kids, and And he poses the question. He's like, do you want your kids to be safe or do you want your kids to be strong? Because you can't protect your children from this world. Like they're going to have to see it at some point. But if you prepare them and you make them strong, then they can take the world head on, And so I think with those kids, that's what I'm trying for. And this is all part of it.
Right.
And we don't do it perfectly. We're not the
Nobody
model parents,
does.
but
yeah, nobody does.
But it's really important. So I've gotten out of the mindset that I need to protect them from everything. Like
It's hard.
the world.
That's
I know,
so
it's really hard.
Yeah.
It is.
But the world, it can be an ugly place. And we were so sheltered as kids that we thought everybody was good. It's like, oh, there's just a bunch of Christians that want the best for you, that you get. The world's like, holy smokes, this is not the case.
Yeah.
It's like, so I don't want my kids to have that really. I mean, I don't want to, like, I can remember I was reading a John D. Rockefeller biography, and he said, my dad, when I was a very young kid, he says, my first memory of my dad, he said, I stood up in my high chair and he says, jump to me, John. And he said, I jumped to my dad's arms. He pulled his arms back and I hit the kitchen floor and he wagged his finger at me. He says, John, you don't ever trust anybody, not even me. And so, like, I don't want to go to that level.
I'm like, okay, does he like this one? No. I was like, should we call Child Protective Services?
Yeah. But it's like that's like one of the richest men in, at that time in American history. And so it's like I was reading these people's books and I was like, holy smokes, like I don't want to be that person, but I also wanted my kids to know, like, hey, there's people that are going to try to take advantage of you, and you need to be smart. You need to be street smart. You need to be savvy, and you need to be strong. And that's a really important thing to teach kids. So I don't know.
So every episode, we name one person that we're grateful for. Of course, you're probably grateful for a lot of people, but today, who are you grateful for and why?
Yeah, for sure. My wife is at the top of that list. Not just because she sleeps with me, but it doesn't hurt. But
yeah, and she's a great trophy wife.
Yeah, she's super hot, but it's like she's also like she's kind of busting her butt because we're trying to get all this stuff kind of cleared up so we can go back, right now. And so she's working very hard, and she did not sign up for this. I signed her up for this, and so, but she gives me a lot of grace, and so I'm just super thankful for her because she keeps things going. She's good at the things that I'm not good at, and so we make a very good team. But yeah, super grateful.
Lena?
I'm gonna say Andrew Ambrose, because he took a gamble on me for the summer, and they have tried to fire me every day that I just sling donuts, but they just can't. I keep showing up. So, and actually, that's all my. I know we can't do two. Well,
Okay. Well, you can do the other
and
one.
Donna.
Donna
at we have to work together side by side, and that's gonna be me. She's hilarious, and she just banters back, and it's
She's
beautiful.
great.
Yeah,
She is great.
she's tried to get me fired as well, but it's just not working. So anyway,
I liked the first day I went in there. She's like, I'd yell at you, but we have a customer right in front of us. So, and I'm like,
yeah,
I get
zero
there's
respect.
there's nothing. I was like, is she?
Yeah,
I think she's for real.
yeah,
right
she, yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh,
She has a
gosh.
good day on the days I'm not there. That's the way it works. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to say my mom and dad, they just celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary
Oh,
like
that's
3
awesome.
weeks ago. And they don't show, they're not the parents that show you that like marriage is easy and it's all love and butterflies and rainbows. It's like they stay together, and like I'm so happy and thankful, that my parents are still together, and they raised us
Sure.
in that, and they taught us so many things. So, and still continue to do so.
Yeah,
Yep.
good.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So,
Well, are we gonna jam
oh
out?
yeah,
to
let's
some-
jam out to some good old
Yeah.
Patricia. That's what this song is called. Caribbean music. So when do we get to come?
Whenever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd
But
prefer
right now you're gonna have to work.
yeah,
Wait,
I'm gonna wait.
You make a TikTok with us and be like, GoFundMe for them to come visit us on the
Right.
island.
There you go.
There we go. That could
So
be your
is this
first money
podcast
making.
like blowing up? Is
Yeah.
like, are you guys getting?
Is our life also?
It is. Let's see here. How do I put this? So like last week we had 600 downloads, which is
Wow.
pretty good.
Yeah.
For us being some little local
Right.
women. So Every episode gets about anywhere from 500 to 800
Nice.
views, so which is good.
Yeah.
Some people are different though.
Are we on camera too? Like some of the podcasts are video. No,
we
we're not.
want to.
Video.
I
Not
wish we did
yet.
though,
Okay,
because
okay.
some of these are.
We
like,
could start. Yeah.
We should learn how to do it.
Oh yeah. Add that to the
But
list. of
just
things we wanna
this
do.
right here,
We
I'm like,
need
this is
more.
yeah. My
Those
goodness,
people don't have kids, do they?
they don't. Oh, sorry. Here we go.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks, Tyler.
thanks for
And
having
thank you, and thank you everybody for listening to another episode of Coaching Caffeine and Comedy. I'm your host Hayley Kobza.
And I'm Lena.